The deep ocean covers more than half of our planet's surface. It is a world almost entirely devoid of light, a place where temperatures hover just above freezing and the weight of water above would crush a submarine hull flat. Yet life persists here, in forms so bizarre and so alien that they challenge everything we think we know about the boundaries of survival. This is the last true frontier on Earth, and we have barely begun to understand what hides in the dark. More than 95% of the ocean's volume lies below 200 meters. Below that threshold, sunlight vanishes entirely. The transition is gradual at first, a slow dimming of blue into violet, then violet into an absolute and consuming blackness. Scientists call this region the midnight zone, and for most of human history, we assumed nothing could live here. We were wrong. The ocean had been hiding its most extraordinary secrets in plain sight all along, right beneath the surface of a world we thought we understood. Deep sea biologist Dr. Helena Marsh has spent 15 years developing technologies capable of surviving the crushing pressures of the abyss. Her latest submersible, the Abyssal Reach, can descend to 6,000 meters, deeper than almost anything else ever built. On a recent expedition off the coast of the Philippines, she descended into a trench that has remained largely unexplored since its initial charting in the 1970s. What she found there would change the way she thinks about the boundaries of life itself. When you sink below 1,000 meters, you stop thinking about the ocean as a place of water and movement. It becomes something else entirely. A different physics seems to apply. The pressure is so immense, so absolute, that the concept of up and down starts to feel almost philosophical. The creatures that thrive at these depths have evolved solutions to the problem of living that no engineer has yet replicated. Their cells carry special pressure-resistant membranes. Their enzymes function at temperatures that would lock the chemical machinery of a surface-dwelling animal into paralysis. And many of them produce their own light. Bioluminescence is the dominant language of the deep. More than 90% of deep-sea animals are capable of generating light, making it one of the most common adaptations anywhere on the planet. But each species uses that light differently. A dragonfish trails a glowing lure from a filament attached to its jaw, a soft and beckoning signal in the dark that mimics the tiny bioluminescent organisms its prey feeds upon. A firefly squid pulses patterns of electric blue across its mantle, communicating with others of its kind in a visual language we are only beginning to decode. A siphonophore, a colonial organism that can stretch longer than a blue whale, trails curtains of luminescent threads through the water column, creating a trap that is simultaneously one of the most beautiful and most lethal structures in the natural world. Dr. Marsh's first significant discovery on this expedition came not from a creature, but from the seafloor itself. Her sensors picked up an unexpected chemical plume drifting along the base of the trench wall, rich in hydrogen sulfide and methane, the unmistakable signatures of hydrothermal activity. Following the plume, the Abyssal Reach arrived at a field of hydrothermal vents unlike any she had encountered before. These were not the towering black smokers common to better-known vent systems, but low, spreading formations of pale mineral deposits, each one carpeted in living organisms. I have dived on hydrothermal vent fields before in the Pacific and the Atlantic, but nothing prepared me for this. The density of life was extraordinary, every surface was occupied, and the scale of it, stretching in every direction beyond the range of my cameras, was unlike anything I had seen. Hydrothermal vents are perhaps the most remarkable ecosystems on Earth. They exist entirely independent of sunlight. Where almost every other living community traces its energy back to photosynthesis, vent ecosystems run on chemosynthesis. Specialized bacteria draw energy directly from the chemical compounds pouring out of the vents, producing organic matter that sustains tube worms, shrimp, crabs, and dozens of invertebrate species that have spent millions of years adapting to conditions that would kill almost anything else. The tube worms here were unlike any species in the existing scientific literature. Their feathery plumes, used to absorb nutrients from the surrounding water, were a deep crimson that shifted toward amber in the submersible's lights. Each one was larger than her outstretched hand, and they spread across the vent field in dense colonies hundreds of meters wide. But the deeper she navigated into the vent field, the more unusual things became. Her hydrophones began picking up a pattern of low-frequency pulses moving through the water in regular, repeating sequences. Sound travels far faster in water than in air, and the deep ocean is never truly silent. Whale song moves across entire ocean basins. Geological tremors speak through the crust. But this was something different, something structured, rhythmic, and deliberate. We are still analyzing the recordings. There are several possible explanations. A resonance effect produced by gas venting through a particular formation of rock. Some large organism using acoustic communication in a way we have never previously documented. What I can say with certainty is that the pattern of those sounds matches nothing in our existing database. Below the vent field, the trench deepens sharply. The abyssal reach descended another 800 meters into a zone so remote no instrument had ever reached it before. Here the seafloor was nearly flat, coated in fine sediment composed of the organic particles that drift perpetually downward from the sunlit world far above. Scientists call this marine snow. It is the slow and continuous rain of dead organisms, shed particles, and biological debris that forms the foundation of everything living at extreme depth. In this sediment, the cameras captured movement. Small, translucent fish nosed through the uppermost layers in search of buried organisms. A sea cucumber dragged itself across the bottom on rows of tiny tube feet. And then, at the edge of the sonar returned something larger. An animal perhaps 3 meters long, moving with the calm, unhurried certainty of something that has never had cause to fear. The shape was consistent with a species of giant isopod, a crustacean related distantly to the garden pill bug, but scaled to dimensions almost impossible to believe without footage in front of you. Giant isopods have been known from the deep ocean for over a century, but animals of this size have rarely been documented. They are scavengers drawn by the chemical trace of anything organic sinking from above, capable of surviving for months without a single meal in an environment where food arrives when the sea decides to offer it. We watched it for nearly 30 minutes. It crossed the frame and disappeared into the dark. Something about that movement, the complete indifference it showed to our lights, our cameras, the intrusion of our machinery into its world, stayed with everyone on the surface team. This animal has never seen a human being. It has had no reason to. It has lived in that trench, evolving and surviving and going about the precise and patient business of its life in total darkness, for millions of years before our species ever appeared. The expedition recovered samples, acoustic recordings, and hours of visual footage that will require years to fully interpret. Several of the organisms documented are almost certainly new to science. The rhythmic sounds remain unexplained. The trench keeps its secrets carefully. What the deep ocean offers, more than any other environment on the planet, is the genuine and persistent possibility of total surprise. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than we have of most deep-sea trenches. We have clearer images of the far side of the moon than we have of the majority of the seafloor. The technology to go deeper is advancing steadily. But the distances, the pressures, the darkness, and the sheer incomprehensible volume of water standing between us and the answers mean that real discovery is still the rule rather than the exception. In the deepest places, where the pressure is 800 times what we feel at the surface and where no trace of sunlight has ever reached, life has found a way. It built its own light. It made chemistry where there was no sun. It persisted through extinction events that emptied the world above. That alone should make us profoundly humble about what we think we know. Every dive that reaches deep enough returns with something we did not expect. Every expedition rewrites some part of what we thought was settled. The ocean is not an empty place. It is not a desert. It is a world that has been living on its own terms in the dark and the cold for longer than we can truly comprehend. We have barely knocked on the door.